And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to day number 3 of the playoffs of Masters Coliseum 7. I'm, of course, your Live VIP, and with me, I'm joined by the lovely people in the chat and these amazing players as well. At least one of them. The other, we'll get him back. But here we go. We are here in the upper bracket again. Every day of the week, we have and we will be casting Masters Coliseum. Last night, we said goodbye to a couple of players. Max Pax was eliminated from the tournament. Likewise, so was... Let me just double check this. Likewise, so was Cure. Just want to make sure I was right on that. But yeah, Cure and Maxax were eliminated yesterday from the tournament, and today we determine who advances on to the upper bracket finals and the grand finals as well. Tonight, we have Maru versus Serral, as well as Rainer versus Hero. And the winners match of those two series as well. An insane set of matches, an insane turnout. Look forward to it. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. It's going to be amazing. And predictions in the chat will soon be open as we dive in. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have Maru for onside. And in the top left, we have its opponent. We have Serral for Basilisk. Here we go. The rematch is upon us. And I can't wait. Cannot wait to sink my teeth into this here. As again, for those of you who are here a couple of days ago, last week even, this is a rematch from this very tournament. Both Serral and Maru have already played in Masters Coliseum in the group stage, and Maru did beat Serral 2-0. It was a very intense series. It was a crazy back and forth, and Maru looked insanely good, better than he has in a very long time. And we'll see if Serral has been able to recover from that, been able to ruminate, been able to go over the series and tighten things up and get ready here for the rematch. Because I can't wait. Last time it was a best of 3. This time, best of 5. This time it is a best of 5. And one moment, if you're in the chats over on Twitch, then place your bets because predictions are up. Predictions are open. Good luck with your predictions on who you think will take the series and advance on into the upper bracket finals. Meanwhile, we have our openers. Okay, so it's going to be a standard hatch gas pool from Serral. Likewise, we have a 2-rax Reaper out of Maru. The Gamba's going in the Gamba. Oh, here we go. The Gamba. But yeah, here we go. The rematch is here, and 2-rax Reaper has been quite a common opener out of Maru. It does sprinkle it in every now and then, just to keep the pressure up, just to keep the pressure on his opponents. The goal of this opener is to contain your opponent. It's to contain them on 2 bases, to maybe get some drones. Drones shouldn't be dying here, but that's the ideal scenario for Maru if he's able to get a couple of workers here and there, as he's going to be committing to 3 Reapers. You don't commit into more unless your opponent is being a little bit greedier, and if you think you can gain more value with additional Reapers. That's if Serral did take a 3rd base, but he should be contained to 2 bases. He should be retaining and holding on here to that 3rd a little bit longer. Keeping it at bay. Meanwhile, Reaper dives into the main base, looking for a drone kill. He's going to be zoned away. Lings have arrived. Reaper going to be forced back here for now. We see him up 1 shot away from almost getting another drone. 2nd Reaper soon to arrive. Queens do make it out in time, though, and again, Serral should maintain his mineral line, should maintain his Lings. So far, good defense out of Serral, hasn't lost anything major. Behind this, Maru is going to be expanding. He's going to be transitioning out of this. Again, 2-rax Reaper into a CC. There's no 3-rax or there's no 4-rax follow-up or anything like that. Ooh, as we're going for a 3rd CC before Starport. Very economic follow-up here from Maru. 3rd CC even before the factory does complete. So again, he's just going to be doubling down on the economy. He's once again just keeping the Queens busy, keeping the Lings busy. Link speed is still a ways off. And again, Serral is still stuck on 2 bases as well. Maru has done enough with these Reapers. From here, he can back off. He can back off, he can race back home. Link speed finishes up in 5 seconds. Maru is aware of when Link speed finishes, so he will be racing back home and being safe. Meanwhile, the Overlord dips in. The Overlord, I believe, did confirm the factory. May have also seen the CC in production as well, as the Overlord does dip the hell out of there. And the game will settle from here. And Maru has a nice little lead for himself. He's ahead economically. You know, Serral just now getting his 3rd base, and will be quite some time till he gets up and running. And Serral has to recover from here. Now, what a lot of Zerg players do from this point is potentially throw down a faster 4th CC, faster 4th hatchery, cutting corners, maybe delaying Bailey Nest, delaying your lair as well, just to get to faster upgrades. Serral has options. does have options available. As for now, Ling's going to be dipping out. They could maybe catch the Reapers, but last they won't be able to. Reapers will zone them back. And Serral just trying to be active, trying to get a read on where units are. I do appreciate that Serral, he is overjoining his natural. He's going to be main-arding over towards that third base when it does get up and running. Just so he can catch up in economy. And we have Maru, ooh, getting almost surrounded there. One Reaper gets picked off, but he's going for a 3cc 211 follow-up, an interesting variation. Okay, so a couple of things. No Hellions. No Hellions with this. We're going into Widow Mines first, which is unorthodox, by the way. To rush into these Widow Mines, this is risky. So we won't have Hellions to support this army to deal with those links to deny us surround. We're going to be relying on Widow Mine control instead as the Reapers get surrounded. Another best start here for Maru, and I assumed that we were going to be joining the Widow Mines with the main army, but no, we're going for a drop at the same time. Bold move here. Now, this will be delaying the stim timing as the Marines are going to be forced back, but the drop is really going to be catching Serral off guard, or will it, is the question. Can we find some damage here with these Widow Mines as we zoom towards the natural? Drop going to be coming in. Lings are in position. Queens as well. The Widow Mines are going to be able to borrow it. Oh, decent connection. Yeah, one shot goes off. We have one Widow Mine left here, heading towards the third base instead. Hoping for another decent shot, and it looks like we won't be able to find one. Queens are here, and the Widow Mine drop wasn't quite worth it. Killed 2 workers in the end. Some mining time was lost, that is true, but the medevac may go down. Ooh, it does. Big loss there for Maru, and again, this was not quite worth it. We did this mine drop in favor of going for Hellions and Hellion control and Hellion run-bys, and wasn't quite worth it in the end. But Maru's not done. He's going to be hitting with Stim and with a 16 Marine double medevac drop. Slipping into the main base instead. We have plenty of Lings though getting in position. Queens are rotating over as well. Serral is catching up. Yeah, he's catching up. He's keeping up. He's forcing Maru back. Ooh, Serral, bold move here. Okay, so the layer is done. We're getting into upgrades, but Serral, he's rushing into really fast Hydras. Very fast Hydras here from Serral. I'm curious if this is just to get into fast Hydras for map control to shut down drop play, which he did struggle against. He did struggle against the drop play the last time they did face off, or we could even rush into Lurkers. Layer Tech Lurkers, they have their place. They do have their place here, especially if we believe that our opponent's going to be a little bit too intense and we want to slow the game down. So my eyes are definitely here on Serral with how he techs up. But now committing to Hydra upgrades. We're not racing into Lurkers. Overlord gets caught out. Serral holding up his position. Mine drop comes back in. The mines! Oh my god. Could have been so much worse. 3 drones go down in the main base. At the same time, Lingbane engaging with the main army as well. Again, really bold move for Maru to go for these mines of all things. To go for these mine drops. Bathing Runby gets 5 SCVs across the map. The triple jump has to get some damage here. Another Bathing does roll in. Jump has arrived. Serral is in position. Did see it ahead of time. Is keeping up so far. Is keeping up as the mine drops continue for Maru. Again, a very unique style to, like, mine drops are typically not really seen too often in this matchup, and so far for good reason. So far it hasn't paid for itself yet, but all it takes is a couple of good mine shots and we can of course take control of the economy. Speaking of, Widow Mine's going to be set up. Marines pushing forward. Good bathing connections, taking out 2 of those Widow Mines. Good manual detonation as the splits are not there. Big bathing connections. Maru, he's being forced back. Widow Mine's being cleaned up. At the same time, medevac goes down. The Widow Mines get cleaned up once again in the main, and this drop play just has not been working out here for Maru whatsoever. And you can see the disparity in supply. You can see Serral starting to get out of control. He's been trading far too well, shutting down far too many of these drops, and Maru's in some trouble. He is in some trouble right now. Behind this, getting into Drilling Claws, 2-2, 4cc on the way. That's a second factory, of course. Maru trying to keep the pressure up. So far, hasn't been worth it. This time, though, he does catch a base a little bit undefended. It goes for the mineral line. A couple of drones going to be going down. Can he get more? 4 workers in total. Not bad. This is a good moment. A good moment here for Maru. For the first time this game, Serral was out of position. That's a good start. We need to keep it up. We need to keep it up here if we want to try to come back here in this game to claw our way back in. We can see Serral with a Baneling Rumba on the right-hand side. His main force keeping up with that of Maru's. Hydra's in position. Baneling Rumba busting into the third. Maru, he does respond in time, does pull away. Good reaction overall. Deepers went down. Widowmine's being shut down in the center of the map. Overall, a good cleanup here from Serral. And he does create an opening for himself. Yeah, this time he won't be caught off guard. So good splitting up the army. And Serral has maxed. And with this maxed out army, we have the Hive on the way. There's the lurker that we were speaking of. As we connect, ooh, 9 SCVs. Maru only pulling back half his mineral line. The other half goes down. Again, a decent mine shot, but a big reason for how Serral is dealing all this damage is because Maru's been losing so much here in these drops. He has that much less to defend, that much less pressure on Serral to force him to stay at home. Drop here towards the left does force a cancel on the hatchery. Not bad. A good pick off here from Maru, but again, Serral, he's pretty comfortable overall. Like, he's solid here on 5 bases. He's got a good economy. He's at 89 workers. He's about to have Hive Tech. Lurker then just now finishing up to get into Lurker upgrades. Like, Serral again is quite comfortable. Again, ZvT is very much a momentum-based matchup, and Maru has lost a lot of that already. Ling Bane engaging with the army. We get on top of the tanks. 2, 3 tanks go down. The drops as well are being kept up with, and we're going straight for the mineral line, straight for the economy. It looks like this 6th hatchery is going to be denied again, but it's worth it. It's more than worth it here for Serral as he breaks through the main army, catching the SCVs. 13 SCVs go down. Maru, he's being pulled apart. Oh, the Baileys are going to be connecting as well, as 25 workers go down. 26. We engage with the production. We delay the other CC, the 5th base even. And Serral, he can back off, he can remax, he can keep things going. Meanwhile, Maru, again, has been on the back foot for a very long time. Again, just the early to mid game did not go well for him, and as it is with a lot of these matchups, like, the early to mid game is so important. It does set the pace, and Maru has yet to recover from that. There is always potential with drop play. There is always potential. And that's really what Maru has to rely on. He has to rely on being able to pull apart Serral, get into a mineral line, pick off some drones, force back the army, some juicy mine connections. There's just a lot that has to go Maru's way. He is getting to live ghost. Basically, Maru, he's stuck turtling at home. He's just stuck at home here at this point. He's walling up, sensor towers on the way, missile turrets, again, ghosts, tanks, libs. Serral has control. Big mine shot's going to be going off. They're okay. They're okay. Lurker harass. Going to be a bit annoying here towards the left-hand side. Are going to be annoying here. I appreciate that Serral is taking up even further, so he isn't just on Ling Bane, Hydra, Lurker, Viper. He's working up towards Spire Tech, Greater Spire, Second Spire, getting to upgrades for Broodlord transition. Serral, he's just securing himself, making sure he's ready for any scenario. And his win condition here is just to deny the center base, deny the 5th, over and over again. From here, he could try to go for other counterattacks towards the 3rd or 4th. Mine shot's going to be going up. Vipers have arrived, and we're going for the abducts, even the yoinks. Yeah. We do yoink the liberators, both of them going to be going down. And there's not enough on the ground to deny the Ling Bane as we're just rolling, and we're getting out of control here. Serral rolling past the army into the mineral line. Ooh, and SCVs are going down. We came to the factories, we came to the production. GG gets called, and Serral will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. That was a very interesting game out of Maru, is what I will say. To wind it back, and I should emphasize this in case you missed it, but again, the opener from Maru was very unorthodox. Well, the opener was standard, but the follow-up, when he went for reactor factory widow mines of anything. Like, this is not normal. This is not something that's typically done. Even in Maru's games, it doesn't typically go for this. So this felt very unique, very specialized, prepared here for Serral. It was a bold move, but it didn't work. Did not work out. We invested so much into those early widow mine drops, and they did not pay for themselves. In a way, they hurt Maru more than they helped him, and that's a big reason as to why Serral was so comfortable, why he was in control when he got into the mid game, and why he maintained control getting into the later game as well. So again, that was just a really rough start for Maru. It was a Hail Mary play, or like, again, a really risky way to play for Maru. Very out of the norm and very out of left field, and again, didn't quite pay off for him. Serral takes the first game. Now, what I will say is that we probably won't see that playstyle again. So, gonna see a very different series here. As in game, here we have in game 2, top left, Maru for onside, and in the bottom right we have his opponent. We have Serral for Basilisk. Here we go. So, even though Serral was in full control of game 1, I don't think game 1 was really indicative of the series and really indicative of the form of Maru. I think, again, a lot of the opener and the build worked against Maru in the end, and that set him behind. And against Serral, it's just difficult. Against any of these like top tier caliber players, whether you're Hero, Serral, Rainer, Maru, if you are kind of set behind at the start of the game like that, then it's difficult for anyone to recover there. But now we're getting into game 2. Again, a fresh game. Oh, drink up, Pappy. Fresh game number 2 here for both players, and I'm hoping for a back and forth. It's a best of 5, plenty of games to come. And oh my, we're going for a CC first. Oh my, Pappy. CC first here from Maru. Very greedy opener from our Terran player. Now, hopefully he doesn't pull a Cure. Remember, if you were here last night for Cure versus Solar, you would have remembered. I'll always remember Cure versus Solar on side Delta, where Cure went for a CC first into third TC before Factory into double eBay into die. Like he was giga greedy, Pappy. And that was the moment when Solar started his comeback last night, if you recall. I recommend checking out the VODs. It was a very entertaining series. So Maru's opening up greedily here, and again, hopefully he doesn't cut too many corners against Serral, because if Serral catches wind of that, he will punish that. As of for now, we're getting into our openers. Again, Maru being hyper greedy instead of hyper aggressive like he was in the previous game with the 2x Reaper. Likewise, we have Serral going for a Hatch Gas Pool. Standard opener out of our red Zerg player. A lot of the Korean Zergs are very fond of going economically and being really greedy and cutting their gases here on Golden Aura. We can see that is not the case for Serral, which makes sense. Serral, he's respecting his opponent, he's being safe overall. Is not rushing to a third base too quickly. As across the map, we have confirmation. Maru is in fact going for his factory after that CC, after the racks. So we aren't, again, being hyper greedy like Cure was last night, thankfully. So economic opener, greedy opener. Not as greedy as we've seen other Terran players already in this tournament, which I appreciate, but greedy nonetheless. Serral, meanwhile, he's fanning out his units. He's making sure that he's safe and sound, making sure that there's nothing odd going on. As the Ling does dip in, and we should recognize the build at this point. Oh, as the add-on swap comes in at the wrong moment, Ling slips in, and we confirm the follow-up. Very important here. Okay, so it's going to be a CC first from Maru into a 1-1-1. And Serral gets a free scout. A big scout here from Serral with this 1-1-1 follow-up. It's very aggressive. We're going to be prioritizing Hellion production. We can go into an add-on swap and get into faster Banshees as well. It's going to be a third CC following the Starport, but far later. And this Ling may get eyes on that as well. And it looks like we barely do. The Ling does get roasted. Ling does get roasted as it attempts to get out. Ooh, Serral didn't see the third. Okay, never mind. I thought the Ling was able to get close enough, but it was not. So Ling goes down. We are unaware of the faster third base here, or how fast the third, I should say, is. So Serral, he should be opening up safe. We have Queens on the way. We may go for a faster lair and a faster Bailey Nest. Overlord is coming in for a follow-up scout. We need to confirm. Do we have Banshees on the way? Do we have a third base on the way? Is it a 2-base all-in? Which Maru has done many a time. So Serral needs confirmation. That is the second factory. No shot. That is a second factory. That is mech. That's a 1-1-1 Banshee opener into mech, and Serral needs to figure this out. Needs to get a read on this because there is no reason to make a second factory. Overlord is going in. There's only a handful of Marines to stop this scout. We do get eyes on the Banshee, and we get eyes on the third CC. Do we get eyes on the factory? Oh, do we? Show us. Upside. I don't think we saw it. We didn't have confirmation, but I don't believe we saw the second factory here. Third factory is on the way. Yeah, we're going for a safe opener. So it's going to be a layer first into a bathing nest. So with this, we get faster bathing speed, but no roach warren. No roach warren because we don't know that we need roaches. As the mass Hellion is moving out. Cyclone's on the way behind this. We have Hurricane Thrusters on the way. For Cyclone speed. Not just Cyclone speed, we have a Hyperflight Rotors as well going into Banshee speed. Let's go. Now with the sheer amount of Hellions that we do get eyes on, we should be aware of what's going on, and we should have a better idea. So we have 10 Hellions. Banshees are amassing. We're going for a Spire follow-up. Oh, I don't know if I like this. Fun fact, the new Cyclone actually fares better against Mutas than the old one. Because of the high attack rate. May not have the range, but does have the DPS. So we're going Lingbane Muta here. At least that's the plan for Serral, at least initially. Still trying to piece this together. Things they get across the map will be cleaned up by these Hellions. And again, Serral, he hasn't seen what's being produced from those factories. He doesn't know, even if he gets an inkling that it's mech, doesn't know if it's more traditional form of mech going into tank production or into mass cycling. Still unawares. Banshee's fanning out, taking map control. Hellions are being chased down, being hunted down by these Banshees. Really good use of them as well. I do appreciate that from Maru. Cyclones have been revealed. We're now fully aware of the composition. We're just amassing more Lingbane. Cyclones have arrived. We do see Serral getting ready for a surround. Is preparing a surround. Maru, the scan does reveal the army. Does have eyes on it. Serral going for a counterattack at the same time. Ooh, and we don't have much at home to defend. And not much back at home. SV's going to be going down. We delay the 4th CC. We delay the 4th base. 5 workers going to be going down as well. Oof. Brutal loss there. And the army has to come back home. Good counterattack from Serral. Very nicely done. With this, he gets himself some breathing room. Forces back the army. Mutas have in the field. Has to be careful to avoid those Cyclones. There we go. Mutas have been spotted by the Banshees. Oh, we're not ready for it. We didn't scout the Spire. No turrets whatsoever. SV's going to be going down. We get another 6. That's 11 in total. A tank falls as well. Banshees are getting damage across the map, but so many SCVs are falling. Again, we were just woefully underprepared. We had no idea of the Spire tech. The Banshees, they never scouted. It's going to be 12 workers going down. Maru, his economy in shambles. He's doing some counter damage here, but does need more. I'm loving the splits from Maru. Oh, let's go. I'm loving the split Banshees. So they are being split off here. One Banshee does go down. A Roach Warren is on the way now for Serral, aware that he needs it. Thors are amassing back at home. Maru, he's on the road to recovery. He's now working on his 4th CC. But the question becomes, can he keep up with the Mutas? Again, in a head-on engagement, I want to favor Maru. I do think that he can shut down these Mutas if they take a head-on fight. But Mutas won't be doing that. They're going to be dipping in between the bases and looking for some free SCVs. Or any free units. Get a depot. Serral working on the gold base as well. Against Serral, the Mutas, they give him map control. Maru, he's stuck at home. Serral, he is free to be greedy, free to expand, free to take the gold. Free to take that gold base. We got 1-1 on the way behind this. Again, upgrades have been delayed because of the teching that we've been incorporating here. Upgrades now on the way. Roaches are in the mix. 5th CC in production as well. And Maru, again, he's just kind of stuck at home at this point. Banshees are getting caught out. News are on the way. Cyclones are rotating around. We get one. We got one Banshee. At the same time, Bailey Run-By comes in, but we are able to react in time. So far, good reaction out of Maru. Does only lose 3 SCVs. Serral is about to max out. Working on Hive Tech. Hive Tech should be for spellcasters. Should be for Vipers. Maybe some more Vipers. We'll get there. Once again, really good movement out of Serral. Getting another Banshee. The Muted Cloud is looking quite impressive at this point as well. Yo, we got a line of turrets here. But we find a way in. Yeah, the turrets are just barely not done. Thors have to rotate over. Decent connections. We get I think, 1 muter. The mains roll in. Maru distracted by the muters. We losing 12 SCVs. Ay. 12 workers will go down. Getting into a more tank-heavy style. Again, Maru, he's trying to turtle. Emphasis on trying because Serral is still finding damage. And from here, Serral is taking up in every direction. We have the Greater Spire on the way. We have the Ultra Cavern as well. A couple of muters get caught out. But again, we are slowly getting away from muters and going to be refining our army. Oh god. Yes, we want to get rid of our muters, not quite like that, but as a lot of muters get picked up, and here we go, we collapse on the army. Bailey's going to be rolling in. Good control so far with these Thors. We do kite back, we clean up all the muters, and this is a good fight for Maru. Does shut this down. His army a little bit battered and bruised, but he's going to be able to repair, and the Banshees, they survive. They can shut down the Ravagers. So a good moment here for Maru. But as we get rid of the muters, again, we're getting into a more well-refined, efficient army. More Lings, Banelings, Ravagers. We're still working on upgrades for the Broodlords. Kindness plating on the way for Ultras. Wasn't an easy way to do it, but we did have to get rid of those muters in the end. But now Maru, he's pushing. He has maxed out. And Serral stuck with mainly a Lingbane army. Can he hold? Can he survive against this? Against the massive mech army here of Maru. Yeah, he goes for a counterattack instead. Lings, they get into the third base, and they catch the reinforcements. Tanks should be going down. Thors as well. 14, 16 SCVs. Oh my god. We get an entire mineral line. But Maru, he doesn't care. He keeps on pushing. The Blinding Clouds. The Blinding Clouds, they cover the tanks. Bailey's, they crash into the Hellbats as well. A good cleanup here from Serral. Oh, the tanks, they get a lot of value behind this. Big shots goer. Big volleys do go off on the roaches. Behind this, Serral is going to be able to rebuild. Once again, going for another big Ling counterattack. Catching some tanks, catching some SCVs. Just pulling Maru apart. And you can see that this Thor tank-heavy style just can't really trade well against Ling. And we don't need Thors anymore. The mutants have been dealt with. Yeah, we're trying to get into Ghosts. Ghosts are now in production. Ultras are on the way instead. And we're going straight for the base. Did we catch some of the Ghosts? Cloak isn't done. One of the Ghosts going to be going down. Bailey's, they roll into the Planetary. I don't think it's going to be enough, though. Yeah, the Planetary will survive. Not the best use of Banelings. Not the best trade from Serral. Regardless, does get a couple of tanks and a couple of workers. Ultra's still on the way. We've lost almost 200 Ling. Oh my god. That's a lot of Lings. It's a lot of Lings that have been going down. The scan did just reveal the gold base. Now Maru is aware. But again, because his army is so immobile, he just hasn't been able to do much of anything here when it comes to harassing these mineral lines. With this mech style, we have to go for these big frontal pushes, not run-bys. Hellion run-bys are available here for Maru, and now that he sees the gold, he may opt to go for them, but for now, Serral goes for another base, and he will get the planetary. We're out of position! We are out of position. Banelings, they do pull back. We get a kill on the planetary. Base goes down, and Maru down to 4 CCs. We're going to quickly retake that 5th, though. Base is being retaken. Infestors have arrived. I believe Neural has finished researching, so we can always go for some Neural on the Thors or the tanks. Or even the Ghosts. Please, they come back in, they catch more tanks! So do we go for the fight? Do we go for the engage? And we are going for it. Big Neurals here on the Thors. Good EMP here on the Infestors. But regardless, we catch out the army. We clean up the Hellbats. We clean up most of the Thors as well. Yeah, good target firing from Serral as he does pull back. And again, he's just pulling Maru apart here. Maru just having a really hard time engaging, maxing out as well. Never quite able to be at that ideal. Serral, he's even taking one of Maru's bases. Oh my god. Base on the left-hand side is being taken by Serral. Infestors are recovering. They did survive the attack. They're regathering energy. We have 333 on the way. Serral, he does push forward. He'll be bringing down that base. That's a kill, not a cancel on that hatchery. So Maru's army has been revealed towards the left, which means top right is exposed, and we're going right for that planetary. It's going to be going down. We can evacuate the SCVs, but the base itself should fall. And we collapse on it. We do bring it down. Big pick off here. And as Maru, as he rotates around, we do pick up another tank. Oh, barely don't. Tank survives. Maru taking another base. Okay, this is going to be a big moment. A big moment for Maru is that he is expanding towards his opponent, taking a stick. And if he can get it up and running, then he still can take a fight, still can engage and have some longevity here in this game. But so important that he holds on to it. Serral is getting ready for his own push. Here we go. We are diving in. Big lightning clouds here on the tanks. Tanks that cover the ultras. They collapse on the army. And we will be able to shut down a big line of these tanks. But is it going to be enough, though? Oh, we barely take down the final siege tank and the final Thor as well. Reinforcements arrive just in time. We hold on to the base, but that was a big blow to the army of Maru. The EMP! Let's go! The neural EMP. One ghost left with energy. And Serral is remaxing with more Lingbane Ultra. He knows how vulnerable that position is. He knows that once those 8 Ultras pop out, we can go once again for another dive. Top right has been spotted. So far, still no mining. But it has been taken. And once again, as Maru focuses towards the south, we hit the north. Another base is going to be falling. I appreciate that this time we don't waste any Banelings. Do preserve them. Ghost rotating around. Uh-oh. We could still try to engage. That position is still looking very vulnerable, to be honest. There's only one tank. That one Liberator denying a lot of mining time. But Maru, he is pushing towards the gold. Finally able to move out. Top right being denied again. Scan reveals the main army. Again, Serral, he's getting ready to engage. Getting ready to push in. Decent tower missile, but oh my god, we cover everything! But doesn't even matter because we get a good engage. We collapse on the army. Tank's gonna be going down. A Ghost will escape, but we reset the tank count. Only 2 tanks survive at that northern base. From here, Serral can back off, remax, rebuild. And Maru can't keep pushing. Cannot keep pushing. Liberators are able to deny bottom left though. Are able to deny mining. Again, it was thanks to the anti-armor missile that the fight was able to go as well as it did for Maru, in the sense that he did retain some of his ghosts, or most of his ghosts. Did force back the forces of Serral. As the hatchery does fall. At the same time, big lane run by here. We catch a tank. Tank and a couple of SCVs. Serral, if you wanted to, we can expand towards the top right as well. Take one of Maru's bases. So we have 12 Corruptors on the way. I mean, now that we're incorporating Liberators, we need some more consistent anti-air. To catch an Infestor. Link's gonna be diving in. We go for another big engage. The Lynx, they get roasted up by those Hellbats, so that was not a good fight for Serral. And Maru, for the first time, taking a dominant engagement here. Again, the Lynx, they got annihilated by the Hellbats. The Ghosts, they sniped everything else. Good fight for Maru. And despite the control that Serral has had so far, he did just lose bottom left, and he's about to lose top right. Serral, he's gonna be knocked down to 1 mining base. Suddenly, the pendulum is swinging here in favor of Maru. He's been retaining all of his ghosts this entire time. Broodlords are on the way. What's important right now with this scan as well is that Maru has been remaxing with Thors. Thors are back in the mix. Just in time for the Broodlords. So here we go. Now Maru can push out. This entire time, Maru has been on the receiving end of Serral for like 15 minutes. Non-stop. But ever since the mutas hit the field, Maru has been on the back foot, but now he has momentum. But did I speak too soon? Because we do pick up another tank. Serral, he's been burning through his bank. Doesn't have a lot of minerals left. Doesn't have the gold anymore, doesn't have top right. He's running out of mineral patches everywhere else except for center right. He has 1 full mining base, but that is it. The other bases, they are quite finite. I mean, every base is finite, but you get what I mean. As Maru once again pushing top right, will deny the space. And Serral still building and working on his upgrades for those Broodlords. Ooh, that's a kill, not a cancel. Kill on the hatchery. Now we have a more ideal army. We have Lib, Tank, Thor, Ghost, Mech Ghost. That's the ideal late game composition of Terran. And for the first time as well, it isn't just that Maru has maxed. Maru is maxed out with a bank. He has a bank. And again, now Maru's in the driver's seat. Now he knows that he can just deny bases over and over again. Now the Broodlord count is getting bigger and bigger. The Broodlord count is getting quite impressive. So this is going to come down to how we engage. It's going to come down to the Fungal, which does miss. The Blinding Clouds. The Blinding Clouds honestly going to be very important. The Neural Parasites on the Thors. The Neurals are going to be kind of contingent on the Infestors being out of range of the tanks as well. Like, we're going to have to Blinding Cloud, then Neural, then dive in. God, how many? Is that like 18 Broodlords? Jesus. 20? That's a lot of broods. And we have even more on the way. Let's go. Okay, we're hyper fixated here on winning this ground battle. Can we do it? Ooh, massive anti-armor missile. Nuke as well, zoning back the army. I'm loving this nuke here as the top right has been taken as a planetary. Maru with another base. He's going for the dive. The nuke though. As we do pull back in time. Whew. Do pull back. Again, that's our wall of spore crawlers. So it's Broodlord Infestor Spore for Serral. He's encroaching that planetary, is within range. He's forcing Maru's hand. And Maru, he has to push in to deny these Broodlords. Tank shield's going to be going off. Now, good fungal here on the Hellbats. Good yoink as well. Good start for Serral. Another fungal. You can see the ghost rotating over towards the right hand side. They're coming in. Up. Good EP. EP does graze half of those infestors. We still have a decent amount of fungals left. Again, if we can fungal these ghosts, and we do. But a big anti-armor missile. The base goes down. The damage was done. Maru, he does lose the CC. Meanwhile, throughout all of this, Serral took bottom left. He did retake that goal base. Time's coming in. Oh my god. Decent fungal here, grazing those ghosts. We get one, we get two. I think that was one ghost. Behind this, we're getting into Vikings, which is concerning for Serral, because Serral, he morphed most of his Corruptors into Broodlords. He has very limited anti-air. To be fair, that's why he has so many Spore Crawlers. The Spores are really how he keeps these Broodlords safe and sound, but we have triple Viking production. Like, look at the sheer amount of Vikings we have right now. And if it wasn't for those Spores, Serral would be in a lot of trouble. And even with the Spores, I don't know if I'm convinced. Yeah, the Vikings, they go ham, take down a Brood. We did see Serral remaxing with more Corruptors, and there we go. We have 6 Corruptors on the way. We do need that anti-air. Ghost went for the dive. Got an EMP off. That was impressive. bold Ghost. We got one, we get 2. 2 Brutes go down. Expensive losses here for Serral. As this game has come down to this final base. This is the most important base, and both players are fighting for control of it. Good EMP here on those Vipers. Only on one though. There's still 2 Vipers full of energy. Fungal does connect with these Vikings. Yeah, the chain fungal is real. Raven does get sniped. Decent power bomb. The Vikings though, they still go ham. Ooh, as a lot of ghosts have fallen actually. We're down to what, 5, 6 ghosts? Making 3 ghosts at a time. Thor's being forced back. Serral takes control of this space just barely. On the Brutes. Cute moves out of Serral, fighting his own Spore there, or his own tumor. Yeah, good fungal on the Vikings. Viking count about to be reset. We have like 5 left. And Maru's being forced further and further back. But he does kill the hatchery. The hatchery barely went down. Maru, he scans bottom left. He should see the lack of mining in the bottom left-hand base as well. So it looks like Serral, he's mined out everywhere except for center right. Center right is still his last mining base. We're getting to the stage where we're running out of money. We're running out of mineral patches on the map. Except for top right. Again, top right is the base. So far, both players have mined from it. That's a lot of Thors. I kind of like this here. Maru, he's threatening a rotation towards the south, which will drag the army out of position. And this does mean that if we fight, Serral won't have his spores. He's leaving his spore crawlers behind. Oh, at the same time, Lings, they do come in, punishing the rotation. The mineral line, the SCVs. Oh, Maru, it wasn't a bad idea to rotate like that, but he left nothing behind, and SCV is going to be going down. A big blow to the economy here of Maru. 20 SCVs go down. I mean, to be fair, we don't need that many workers, but damage done nonetheless. 115 workers have gone down. Jesus. Good pickoffs there by Serral. Now, this will force Maru to be super maxed. He's not replacing those workers. He's muling instead. And he is just, yeah, maxing out on Vikings. Jesus. And you can see, whenever Maru, he tries to move out, Lings, they come in. And again, these patches are important just because there's some of the last patches left for Maru. Like, he needs to get as much as he can out of them. Can't afford to lose minerals in transit. As he wanted to try and rotate around, now he's forced to engage once again top right. Again, it's a full base. We can't let Serral have it. Not for free. As Serral is maxed out, he's building up a bank. Taking as many of these minerals and gases that he can. We'll see if he can hold. Liberator. Oh, we didn't have Liberator range. Interesting. Lib range on the way. +3 air attack. Drone's going to be fighting across the map because, again, we don't need them anymore. One Thor gets picked up. Again, against Broodlords, we have to get out of tanks. We have like 2 tanks in the army, but they can hurt us more than help us because of their splash damage. Said Lib Thor on the way. Slowly inching closer. Moving towards those spore crawlers. More liberators coming out. Show us the yoinks. Oh, we get 1. We get 2. 2 libs get yoinked into the spore forest. Not bad. Not a bad start for Serral. At the same time, those drones are still going ham across the map. Oh, big overextension from Maru. Loses a lib for free. A rough moment. Again, every unit counts right now. Like, Maru, he isn't even maxed out. And we're mining for too long. Serral, he's gaining a big lead here. He's just getting so much value out of this base. Serral's bank is getting larger and larger. Yeah, big Ling run by as well, going for the last mining mineral patches here of Maru. SCV's going down, no mineral patches left. And soon Maru's economy is going to hit 0. It's about to hit 0 here. Again, Goldenrod, there aren't a lot of bases on this map. And forced to turn around, forced to engage with the Ling drone. I believe Maru, he has like 1 mineral patch left at his third, at his triangular third. I believe that's it. No, never mind. That's it. 0 mining. 0 minerals here for Maru. He's got like 1 SCV mining at a time. So what you see is what you get. And unless Maru takes control of top right, he will be worn out in this game. Like, he's losing the battle of attrition. Decent fungal. Ghost get focused down. Big peel, we got 1. Oh, another chain fungal as well. A second ghost goes down. Very good trades here from Maru. You can see, sorry, from Serral. You can see Maru plummet in supply. This is becoming too much. Big Thor volley is going to be going off. Bathings will be rolling in as well. Not quite. They do get zoned away. Liberation zones are being set up. It looks like we take control of the mineral line. Drones are going down. Serral, he has to engage. He has to go for the dive. Just some big neurals here, but the infestors are being focused down. Neural is running out. When we take out the ground army, there's only really Vikings left. Oh, the Vikings, though. They break through the Corruptors. Where's the anti-air? No shot. Where's the anti-air here? The Vikings are trying to break through. And it looks like we will. We take down every single Corruptor, but the ground army has fallen. Maru, he has nothing left, only Vikings and a handful of units on the ground. We can chase down the Broodlords, but we have reinforcements on the way. We have an economy. Good fungal here on the Vikings. As we focus out 1 more Broodlord. Like, in the end, Maru did win this fight, but Serral is winning the war. Because Serral has 7 queens on the way. The Corruptors, they come out just in time. And these Vikings will be shut down. Good kiting here out of Maru, but again, this is all he has left. Yeah, every Viking is gonna fall. It went down to the wire. Did go down to the wire here for Maru. He had a really good comeback. Again, Serral was in control for a lot of this game. GG gets called, and Serral will take game number 2. Whew. GG. A very stressful game there. Very intense as well. Again, initially, Serral was in control. Honestly, like the first 20-25 minutes of this game, Serral, as soon as he hit the field with Mutas, as soon as his Mutas hit the field, he was just harassing, poking, prodding, picking up the economy, picking apart the army, and Maru was stuck at home. And remember, it was during that time when Serral was denying base after base after base, bottom left, top right, over and over again. And then there was one bad fight for Serral. If you remember, when he was trying to catch the army mid-rotation, and really Serral overextended. He lost all of his Bailings. He lost all of his Links to the Hellbats. He lost all of his Ultras to the Ghosts. And in that moment, then Maru, he bounced back. He made a game out of it. He was shutting down bases. He was maxing out himself. But as we saw, it all came down to one more base. It all came down to top right. It came down to that final base, and Maru had it for a time, but lost control of it. And Serral was able to reap its rewards, able to, again, outmine Maru, outlast him. GG. GG, well played. Serral needs Automas one more to take the game here. One more to win the series. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have Maru for onside. And in the top right, we have his opponent. We have Serral for Basilisk. Here we go. Can't remember the last full mind out for one base. Yeah, it's been happening recently specifically on Golden Aura. So Golden Aura, it just doesn't have a lot of bases. The map itself just doesn't have a lot of bases. So we have encountered scenarios where players are mining out a lot faster in these split map scenarios. It isn't just that Golden Aura is a small map, but also because of its defensive features, especially when it comes to the ramp locations, it can be really difficult to push out, and very often both Terran and Protoss players get contained by Zerg players in the late game on Golden Aura. So it's something that you would see more on that map than many others. But here we go, we're getting into game 3, and we do have Maru once again going for the 2x Reaper. I do like this. Remember, it happened a while ago, but game 1 was a good start for Maru when he went 2x Reaper. You know, he contained his opponents. He was, you know, he retained his Reapers. The problem was the follow-up. The problem was the mind drop. So can Maru get into his game? Can he get into the swing of things here in this series? Like, so far, even though it's been a 2-0, something to bear in mind here is that, again, Maru's been having a really hard time actually playing StarCraft. Like, game 1, he fell behind very quickly because of his lackluster mind drops. Game 2, he also fell behind very quickly because of the Muta transition. The Muta switch, if you remember, did catch Maru off guard. He had no turrets ready. He just didn't see the tech ahead of time, and the Muta did so much damage. So every game so far, like leading into the mid game, Maru's kind of been stumbling his way into it, or like having a hard time really getting his footing. We'll see if he can do so here in game 3. We shall see. So now Reapers, they have arrived. Going to be threatening the bases of Serral. Fighting for the last cookie in the box, pretty much. But it's the last cookie in the box, but they were starving is the thing. They were starving, Papi. They needed to eat. Give them food. Give food. As behind this, it's going to be a 3cc before starport. Oh, once again, that is a bug on the map. Thankfully, the Reaper does escape. I don't know if you saw there, the Reaper was stuck on the cliff. That is a bug on Solaris, and we have seen Terran players lose that Reaper. We've seen Beyond lose that Reaper before because of that bug. Thankfully, Maru, he did escape. Did get out of there. And it's a pathing bug. As behind this, Maru, of course, getting into 3cc 2-1-1. Getting into his bio. Getting into his bio here. As the game is going to be settling down, finally Serral can expand. Remember, Serral, he was contained to 2 bases for quite some time. And this time we have a standard. Let's go! We have a standard follow-up. For the first time in this entire series, it's going to be 2x Reaper into some Hellions, of course, from map control. We have Liberators on the way. I'm ready. I'm ready for Maru to get into his game, to really show us what he's made of here. He's been holding back this entire series. He's been holding back. But now in Solaris, let's go. Stim on the way behind this. Now, the way this works is, of course, Maru, he has map control with his Hellions. He's going to be poking and prodding, looking for a way in. We have Liberators to harass the mineral lines as well, to try to drag Serral out of position. We'll see if he can. Overlord goes in for a scout. I believe did get eyes on the 3rd CC. Serral, he's aware of the more economic opener. Despite that, Serral opening up very safely. Hellions, oh, has to be careful not to be surrounded. But Serral, he's opening up Lair first. He's going Lair into Bathing Nest, into faster bathing speed. Serral, he's going into delayed upgrades. Delayed 1-1. So just a very safe way to play. Will keep you safe against things like Hellbat aggression or 2-base all-ins. So Serral a little bit paranoid. Wants to be secure getting into the mid-game. Meanwhile, the Hellions still don't quite find a way in. They're going to be rotating around. Liberator is on the way, but doesn't quite find any damage here in the main base. So far, a good reaction out of Serral. Does keep up, does rotate around, does deny the Liberator. Meanwhile, Hellions, they rotate over towards the left-hand side, clearing up a lot of tumors. A lot of tumors have been going down, actually. And now we have the drop play. We have the double drop. A little bit premature. We're actually pushing out before we have 16 Marines. So there are going to be significantly less Marines. Oh, it's because we did make an extra pair of Hellions. So we kept the reactor on the factory a little bit longer. For extra Hellions means less Marines. As the drop is going to be denied in the main base. Hellions, they do come across the would-be 4th. And this hatchery should be cancelled. Queens are coming in. Good control though here out of Maru. As, does force a cancel on that hatchery. Containing his opponent. Hellions going to be pulling back. Speaking of pulling back, Serral moving out with his links, setting up a bailing run by. Uh-oh. Bailing run by towards the 3rd base. Good target firing here on the tumors. The drop comes back. Do we come across the Bailings? So far, we have not. Here comes Serral. Threatening a run by. Hellions are distracted. The army as well. The Bailings, they're coming in. And there's not much saturation, but we do get 6 SCVs. Not many workers to kill, but damage nonetheless. Good damage there by Serral. 6 workers go down. Maru pushing in. Hoping to deny the 4th base again for a second time. Creep is receding. But that's a Luddling Bane. Yeah, Serral, he can engage. He can push in. The tank has arrived but a little bit too late. Tank sieges up Bailings. They're coming from behind as well. And we collapse on the army. The tank goes down. Serral forcing Maru back. And Maru's in a bit of trouble because he loses another 3 SCVs. Again, this 3rd base mineral line has been so exposed and Serral has been abusing it. Just keeping the economy low here of Maru. The 1st tank went down as well, so Maru already losing a lot of firepower in this army, in this push. Should have been a triple tank push, now only going to be 2. Only 2 tanks with this army. The base is under fire. But Serral's so quick to respread that creep, and he's coming in from behind. And there aren't enough Marines. Once again, Serral, he will collapse on this army, collapse on this position. The Marines are safe, but the tanks are not. And Maru, he's losing so much momentum here, losing far too much of his army. And Serral is double expanding, taking his 4th and 5th base. Maru in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble at this point. And how do we come back from here? I mean, we have to rely on drop play. We're trying to focus on some of these bases, but the creep is too good. Serral, he's keeping up with the movement so far. We see Maru transitioning. He's got a 4cc on the way. Second factory for double tank production. But for the most part, Serral, he's getting out of hand. Again, losing so many tanks so early on means that this third base is very vulnerable. It's still so vulnerable, and Serral is going right for it. There's 1 tank to defend. 2 tanks, I should say. Speaking of, we do get on top of them. 1 tank goes down. Again, just keeping the tank count low as possible. Infestation bit on the way. Serral looking to go Ling Bane into Ultra. Oh wait, sorry. I missed the Hydra then. Sorry. Ling Bane is the Hive. Ling Bane Hydra is the Hive tech into Vipers. It's a much more standard composition, not racing into Ultras like a player like Darkwood, for example. As Serral is just looking very secure. Now, Maru is going for some drop play, and we need to make some magic happen here. This drop play needs to get into a mineral line, deny bases, spread apart the attention of Serral. There's just so much pressure on Maru right now. He comes in, but Serral, he's in position. He keeps up. Oh, very slick control there out of Maru. Does pull back. Dropping to the main. Queens are in position. No! A little bit late to react, a little bit late to pull back, and a full medevac goes down. Yo, the SE Boy production team are brutal. They do this every now and then to players like Oliveira, to Maru as well. They're like, show us the reaction shot. As Bailing's going to be rolling in. And again, as Serral, he has control of this base. He gets into the mineral line. SCV's going to be going down. The production team, they're like, cry for us. Shaking my head. As Lings, they get across the map, they get another tank, another 2 tanks. Let's go. 2 tanks, 3 tanks gonna be going down. And Serral, he's just in full control at this point. He's in full control. Resetting the tank count over and over again, crippling the economy, spreading that creep all over the map. Another Bailey run by coming in. Tanks are out of position. Well, they're just not here. They were dealt with earlier. We deny more in mining time. And Serral, he wants to engage. He's going to. Collapses on the army. Gets into the mineral line as well. And he will break this location. So Maru going to be kiting back here, but he exposes his base. 13 SCVs go down. 15 SCVs go down. So we're just making sure that Maru cannot stand back up, that he stays down. And again, Maru just hasn't had too much success here with his drop play. Hasn't been able to be too active on the map. Whenever he has been, just Serral, he's been there to meet him at every twist, at every turn. And even though Maru, he's killed a lot of tumors throughout this game, like Serral, he's always there to replace it. He hasn't lost any of his queens, has retained them. As a result, he's able to keep up time and time again. 5th base on the way. This is going to be a big moment. A big moment for Maru. If he can take a 5th base, he can max out. That's a big if, though. That's also if he retains this army as, we cash a drop again. Good trade for Maru. A lot of tank volleys go off. Again, he's just turtling up, and just like the previous game, he's going to be turtling, and there's going to be a moment where he's hoping that Serral overextends. He's hoping that Serral does lose a little bit too much, and then suddenly Maru can start being active again. But that's, again, reliant on Serral taking a bad fight, and so far he doesn't. So far he collapses on the planetary, brings it down, gets a kill. That's all that Serral has to do. Like, there's no need to overextend and push into either the 3rd or 4th. Just deny the 5th. Deny the 5th over and over again and just tech up. That's exactly what Serral's doing. He's taking up into Lurker tech. Hive is done. We can invest into Ultras, into Spire Tech. Serral really just needs to contain. Because again, if he gets a little bit too excited, a little bit too antsy, then Maru will have a good shot. Speaking of, Serral, he wants to push in. The mines! Decent. It's an okay mine shot. Grazes some of the Lings. Big EMP on the Viper. Oh, Dropper Lord's on the way. At the same time, a ring of turrets. Against Serral, he doesn't want to rest on his laurels. Clearly, he does want to push in. He does want to try to break Maru. A risky way to approach this, but he's going for it. There we go. The Doom Drop on the way. Dropper Lord's getting in position. Spire in production as well. As Creep is getting to the point where we're covering the 5th base here of Maru. Towards the north and towards the south. Drop Lords are set up, but we're not going for the drop yet. We're in position to eventually go into the main. But thankfully, we're not going for it for the time being. Spoke too soon. Serral, he's loading up. There we go, Ling's loading up those Dropper Lords. We can head either towards the main base or the 3rd. Remember, though, there is a line of turrets protecting that main. Liberator's getting in position. 2 more factories, so we're transitioning to mech. It's going to be Ghost Mech, just like the previous game. That's the ideal late game composition that Maru is working towards. Should be getting to tanks, Liberators, Ghosts, maybe some floors. Decent mine shots. Oh my god, massive mine shots even on the Veilings. A good fight here for Maru. You can see Serral plummet in supply. And this is what Maru was hoping for Serral to overextend, pushing into one of these bases. Doom drop into the main. But it looks like we will make it in. Oh, a couple of overlords going to be going down, but the Lings, they do bust in. And we're going for the production. We're going for the upgrades. Yeah, forcing a big reaction there out of Maru, out of position. We get 5 SCVs. We got 5 workers. We take down a Rax. We don't get the armory. Bear that in mind. But Lings are burrowing at the same time. This base is exposed. And Serral, he goes straight for the planetary once again. And this time he will get it. And again, Serral, he has a massive bank. He can afford these trades. Even if he took a rough fight earlier, wasn't enough for Maru to come back. And wasn't enough for Maru to hold on to that base. As we're going for the armory. The armory, it's going to go down. +3 vehicle weapons is denied. Good pickoffs here from Serral. Good pickoffs overall. Meanwhile, he's still double expanding, or taking the north and southern bases. Turrets being rebuilt. Now, Maru is about to max out. Bear that in mind. He is about to max, and just like previously, he can still pull off like a solid defense. Speaking of, good mine shot on those Banelings. Boiling Bane going to be rolling on in as well. Ooh, and we will connect with some of the ghosts. But not with the main army. We can quite make it in. I do believe here that Maru will eventually take this base. Should be able to establish his position. Now, thankfully, Serral has been taking up. He's got Ultra upgrades on the way and Broodlord upgrades on the way as well. So if he does end up losing another fight, or like losing a lot of supply, he can of course refine his army and get into something more, a little bit more efficient. Well, Planetary isn't done yet. Planetary isn't done. Another tank going to be going down. Boiling Bane here coming in from the north as well. Big flank. The Ghost that forced the pull back here. And this CC, it's going to be going down once again. 25 dead SCVs. We do retain the Ghosts. The base itself barely does survive. Doesn't burn down, thankfully. You can see Maru is trying to double expand. Again, if he can get these two bases back up and running, or if he can get them up and running, then he can sustain himself. Well, that's a big if. Again, these are two fresh bases for Maru. Big mine shot, but still going for a big counterattack. It can be the production. We get into another mineral line. SCVs are going down. And as Maru has to respond to this, we see Serral getting ready to push in towards the north as well. Ghost will clean up all these lings. It's a lot of Baileys. As the Ling Hydra does push forward, a tank goes down. Oh, we do snipe the Infestor. Good eye there out of Maru. But Serral, he does rotate back around, and he wants that planetary so bad. He's going to get it as well. Baileys, they roll in. And they go for the base. They go for the planetary, and it will be shut down. Again, all Maru needs is to establish these bases, but that is easier said than done. He just cannot get them up and running. Not yet. Orbitals being floated over, which means no planetaries. Means this position is going to be that much weaker. Another big Ling run by comes in. We do take a mine to the face, but just too many Lings. We take control of this third base location, and we will deny it. Which is pretty huge. There's still a lot of money there. There's still a lot of minerals there, and gas. As we collapse on the CC, and it's just becoming too much at this point. Maru, he just cannot expand, cannot take these bases. Left and right is being pulled apart. And earlier, if you remember, Maru was maxed. Earlier, Maru, he had actually a really good opportunity or chance to actually establish these bases. Not anymore. Not anymore. He does have a comparable army supply here, but Ling Bane rolling on in. Collapsing on this position. We take down every single tank. The Baileys, they connect with the Ghosts. They actually do this time. A good chunk of Ghosts go down. GG gets called, and Serral, he will snowball out of control and take the series 3-0. GG, well played. Congratulations, Serral. He gets his revenge. Last week, Maru 2-0'd Serral. This week, Serral 3-0's Maru. GG. GG, well played. So Serral, he does, again, avenge himself from last week. And he will be advancing on into the upper bracket finals, where he faces off against the winner of Rainer and Hero, as that is going to be our next best of 5. When it comes to Maru's performance here, again, like I spoke about it earlier, about the first 2 games, about how the first 2 games were really unfortunate for Maru. He had a really rough time in the mid game, and even leading into the mid game. We talk about the mine drops, we talk about the muta switch that caught Maru off guard in game 2, and here in game 3, Maru was hyper aggressive with his tank pushes, if you recall. Hyper aggressive, and arguably a little bit too aggressive because he got shut down. He lost his first tank very quickly. He lost his next 2 tanks very quickly. And upon losing his 3 tanks, he lost map control. He lost map control. He lost control of his third base as well. And Serral was able to get real comfortable real quick after the initial failed pushes of Maru. And from that moment, again, Maru was kind of stuck defending back at home. And Serral, he just took control of the game very quickly there. Very quickly. Maru was just so uncomfortable throughout this entire series. And yeah, was just stuck at home. Again, it just goes to show how important like those earlier stages of the games are when it comes to like the dominoes falling, you know, in favor of a certain player, and how difficult it can be to recover from that as well against these high caliber players. Regardless, GG, well played. Congratulations to Serral. And with that, we're going to be going on a short break. When we return, we'll have Rainer versus Hero. We'll see you soon. Oh.